Well, Moonlight Fairies is the theme of this collection from our friends at Hunkydory, and Heidi has got some wonderful projects to share with you. In fact, this is one of them, and you can see those butterflies glistening right in front of your eyes. So please, come play with us. Now, before I get into the projects, let me just tell you a little bit about the product. The Moonlight Fairies, this is the little book of, and a very favorite with our customers. This has 120 sheets. They measure almost 5 inches by almost 6 inches, and there are 6 of each design in this package, so that's very fun. Then there are 4 collections, as you can see. Now, every single one of them has die cuts, as you can see, and the foiling is black, so that's different, but it works beautifully with the Moonlight Fairies. And there's included a foiled, again, you can see the black foiling, a foiled cardstock, and then a printed cardstock that will coordinate with the die cuts. So that's what's going on. Now let's get into our collection of projects, and let me show you what Heidi has done. So this is the first card, and as you can see, I pointed out the butterflies, but let's get started with the card itself. Now, Heidi wanted to put a background on there, and she has selected the magnolia blossoms, and so she has used a background, and you can kind of see it there behind the card. And there's also she has used the Magnolia Blossom solid cardstock. So both of those are used on this project. Now, the sheet that she used out of the little book is this one, as you can tell, and it's just right there. And she has placed this on some black cardstock, and before she did that, she did mat the magnolia blossoms on black and then attached it to her card. Now, you are seeing some things kind of curling around, and that is the doilies. And here they are. Now, but they're looking different, aren't they? Number one, they're coiling, but they're also a different color. So what she has done is she has taken the charcoal ink pad. And the other thing I want to point out is, because these are fairies, things are sparkling all over. And let me show you how she accomplished that. So she took a sparkle pen, and the craft mat, and she took one of the doilies, although she did use multiple ones. And I'll bring this in here. And she just put a whole bunch of the charcoal onto her craft mat. And then she put some of the sparkle pen, the ink, onto the craft mat. Come on. Come on, pen. Okay. There we go. I want to open it up. Sprinkle a little bit on, just a bit, to get some of that sparkle onto the ink. And then, okay, then she dabbed the doilies into the ink. Now, I'm not going to do the whole process, but, and you can spritz some water in there too. And a shortcut would be to do 1 doily or 2 doilies and then cut them in half. And you want to just kind of roll them on top. And you can see she's got, well, hopefully you can see, there are 2 layers on each side. So she's got 1 double layer here and another double layer right there. So that's what she's done. So let me just set this aside and set my charcoal and my sparkle pen aside also. And then this got foam taped on top at an angle, as you can see. Now, how about those butterflies? Now, those butterflies came from the, here we go. This is from the outline butterflies. And you can see that they are just outlines. But how are you getting that glitter behind them? And the glitter is not rubbing off. Well, the glitter comes from our glitter sheets. These are the clear glitter sheets, and that's exactly how they are identified. And let me just pull out a sheet. You get multiple sheets in the pack, and I'll pull one out just in case you haven't seen them before, which would be a shame because they're rather wonderful. And here we go. I think that there are 4 in a package. And so what happens is that the glitter is embedded into the glue that is on the sheet. So there you go. Oh, there's 5 sheets. 4 or 5. And let me just lift this up so that you can see. Okay, do you see how that glitter is there? So what you end up doing is you've got one side that is smooth and you've got one side that is adhesive. So what you'll do is you will take these die-cut butterflies off and you will put them on the sticky side of the glitter and then trim them out along the die cut. And then use the extra sticky tape, our favorite extra sticky tape with the red liner, and attach them along the body of the butterfly to your project. That way you're going to get a lot of shine. You can see that. Now, what about the fairies? Well, the fairies, as you might know, come from the dazzles. And there is this sheet of fairies. And I thought it was really clever that she placed the fairies in the middle of the butterfly. And it just looks really clever. So right there. And then she also added a black jewel dazzle in the center. And you can see that she's placed them on the artwork also. So she's got 2 full butterflies and then a side butterfly right there. There's the side butterfly in the artwork. Now there's 32 acetate die-cut butterflies on the sheet, so you're going to have plenty, and that's going to look just really gorgeous. Now we're going to go to the inside of our card. And again, the magnolia blossoms paper is filling the card, so that's going to be one step here. Then she also has used another sheet from the little book. But let me show you what this sheet is. So she's going to trim it down. So she's going to cut off the bottom part and the top part, and then she's going to mat it onto 2 of the solid magnolia blossoms and place it toward the bottom of her card. Now, more doilies, but this time she's using simply 2 of the inks. And in this case, it is the Prussian blue and the powder blue. And you can see that she's getting a kind of a modified light blue. And so that's kind of going over the top of her artwork right there. Now, the butterflies are a little bit different on the inside of her card. And let me pull these away and show you what's going on. They are jewel butterflies. So she has gone into the jewel butterflies. You can see that the blue ones is what she selected. And she's done the exact same process. So she has placed them on the sticky side of the clear glitter sheets, trimmed them to fit, and then used the extra sticky tape to attach them along the body of the butterfly. And then she placed a fairy dazzles right in the middle and added the jewel dazzles in the center. So it just finishes it exactly like you did in the front. So there you go. So you've got a new technique. Oh, one thing I want to point out, this is a double butterfly. So that's neat. So you can layer those butterflies and put a fairy on top, or not, however you choose. So that's a good look. Okay, I think she's going to be using those glitter sheets again. So I'll hold that out, and let's move on to our next card. Now this is using a card that is pre-made. It's a die-cut card, and it's called a 3D frame. And let me show you why. So as I open this, it has a spine, and there is a frame on top, and then it opens up. How nice is that? There you go, you can see, and I'll tell you, this is super, super easy. So let me pull the pieces. So when you get the package, you get 3 cards and 3 envelopes, but you get all the pieces to make 3 finished cards. So it comes flat like this, and then it's already folded, but then you're going to make that spine. So there's a score line, so you're going to fold that up like so. And to make this frame, you're going to take these pieces and fold them back, and then fold them forward. And that's going to create a platform in the middle. So again, you're going to fold it back. They're all scored for you. And then forward on the next score line. Just like this. Now, to create a platform for that, there's another piece right here. Now you can cover that as Heidi has done, but I'll just rest it right here just to hold it in place. There you go. So you can see how that's going to do a nice job of making the frame. You're going to get another piece because that doesn't look great on the inside. So you get another piece to cover that. And that's going to be the construction. Super, super easy. Also, the instructions are in the package, so everything is there for you. Okay, so what Heidi has done is she has used the Fairy Garden cardstock, which is appropriate, don't you think? And so she's used that to cover the front of her card. And then she's also gone into the little book of, and let me show you the pieces that she's used. So this piece has got the cutout elements, so the fairies, as well as that rabbit, some flowers, as well as some other things. Now, this is the garden scene, so you can see right there what's happening. So she's obviously covering the front of her card with the fairies solid cardstock. And then she used the fancy border pearls and pastels, and they are gorgeous, by the way. So at the top and the bottom, just to really do a finished edge, and that works beautifully. There are 20 sheets in this package, so that's going to take care of you for quite a while. The that square in the center is going to be covered with this piece of the artwork, and so that's just going to get pushed down into the center. Now, these sweet little phrases, those are going to come out of the Fairy Garden 6x6 pattern cardstock, and they're going to be very appropriate for fairies. So, someone special, dream big, let your imagination blossom. Now, these are right here. And the way that she did these is she cut one out, and you can see you just cut along the white edge, and she, let's see, she foam taped that in place. And then she did a second one. Now again, you get 6 sheets of each design. And then she did a second one, but then she just did the black image on top. So that way you get the dimension. Now you don't have to do that, but that's what Heidi has elected to do. Now for the little bunny, I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's a white kind of shadow, excuse me, a yellow shadow around it. So what she has done is she has taken the warm honey ink and a blender brush and simply gone around the edges of these extra little embellishments, and she's used them on the inside as well as right here, just to give that glow. So these have been foam taped in place. She's also added pink jewel dazzles as well as gold jewel dazzles, and you can see them in the curly cues and in the hair of the fairies along the greetings. And remember that square comes with the card, so it just pops right in. You want to glue it in place just to make sure it's nice and tight. By the way, all of the bows in these are made with the bow maker because that's Heidi's preference. And in this case, this is the green ribbon set. Okay, so I want to make sure I comment on that, although they are listed in the materials list down below. Now, I'm going to turn this over, and you can see that this is using the other side of this sheet. So there you go, nothing goes to waste. This area is this sheet. And again, it's going to get trimmed. So it's going to get trimmed right next to that butterfly, and then right next to her foot to make sure it's going to fit on this smaller card. She's also used those fancy border dazzles here and here, and just to put a little edge at the top and the bottom. And by the way, this is narrower than the card, so it was matted on those Fairy Garden solid cardstock. So that's just finishes it, and you can see the colors work beautifully. More of those greetings. And right here, another one. Again, all of these have that very soft yellow background, as does this piece. So in order to make this, you would fold this back and just do the same thing with the blender brush and the warm yellow ink pad. So that's going to finish that off quite nicely. And there you go, it's all done. And you do get the envelopes in with those cards, so that's a complete set. Okay, let's go to our next card. And here we go. Now this has some different things going on, and we're into the kits now. And this one is using, let me pull it out for you. This is the Fairy Kisses. Now these are sold as a set, so you'll get all 4 of them. And they do say that each set makes at least 2 cards, but you can certainly make more if you wish. So what Heidi has done is that she has taken this foiled cardstock. Again, it's a black foiling. And you can see that this piece she has trimmed out. So she has cut right next to this line and just cut that out. She matted that, interestingly enough, on the brown fireworks holographic paper. Now that's really fiery in your eyes, isn't it? But it sure works with fairies. And you see it's really supporting the browns in the bottom of that artwork. So that's what's going on. So she has matted that, but you're not going to place it yet. So the other side, so we've taken this part. Now this part is going to be what's going to go on her card. However, the first thing that she did was to take the white glitter cardstock, and she's going to use that to cover her card. Now I'm hoping that you can see the glitter that's going on. I know you're seeing the fireworks with the brown fireworks, but that glitter is right there. So she's covered her 5 by 6.5 inch card with that white glitter. Then she's going to trim this piece down a little bit smaller and glue it here. You can see how it's lining up. And then this matted piece is going to go just to the right of the center. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to get into the die cuts. So you can see that this die cut is going to get foam taped. And then we do always have greetings, which is really nice. And so, wishing you a magical day, fairy kisses, that is going to go right here. The ribbon that she used is coming from the 1/4 inch glimmer ribbon, and that too has some sparkle to it. And that is going to do a very nice job. But you know, I realized that I forgot to tell you something really important before we started. And it's because it got buried on my work table. There's something else going on with this card, and you need to take care of it before you get started. So let me open this up. And this is a modified easel card. Look at that. How neat. How neat is that? Okay, so we are going to need a piece of acetate, and we need to put it under the card front before we get started. Okay, I beg your pardon. Okay, so you know about this. I'm just going to set that aside. We're going to rewind in our heads. So we've got a piece of cardstock that is 5 by 7 inches. We're going to take the narrow end and score 1/2 inch from the narrow end, put a piece of the 1/4 inch extra sticky tape right there. Then we're going to take a piece of cardstock that's 5 by 6.5 inches, just like you would think it would be. And we're going to position this lip right over the top of it. And then what happens is we're going to turn this over, and that's going to be the card front, because we want something like this to be in the back of the card. So it'll be just like that. And that's the part that we just so beautifully decorated, but not quite, because we want to get that acetate on there. So the acetate is also 5 by 7. We're going to take a 1/2 inch and score it from the short edge, put extra sticky tape. Now the extra sticky tape is going to lap onto the card front. We can do that because this is going to get decorated as we just did. And I do apologize for not getting that on there first, okay? Forgive me. Just kind of go back in your head, okay? So you've got your card constructed, and then you know how to decorate it, okay? Now for the fun part. Okay, then we're going to have this ready. So, remember I said that you get a foiled cardstock and then you also get a printed? Well, this is the printed cardstock. Somewhere. Here it is. So you see you've got a moon, and then you've got the scenery here. Well, the moon, you're going to trim off the base for the moon, and you're going to cut it to be this length, okay? And this is going to get matted on black. And that will just fit right there beautifully. And then for the bottom part, because it's taller, you will have the full length of it. Now Heidi elected to put just a strip of the white glitter cardstock right there. And as you know, so you're going to be using the bottom part of it, not the whole piece. Now, as you know, when you have a easel card, you need to have something to hold it up. So this is one of the die cuts. You're going to foam tape it. You might even want to have a double foam tape there, so one on top of the other. Then, for this, let me just show you the die cuts, because Heidi mixed them. So she used the largest ring of this one, but then the center of this one, and she's simply attached both of them with extra sticky tape. And the birthday wishes is that is also with extra sticky tape. She's done a bow, Now, if it bothers you that this shows, you could also put the other rings and the other center there if you wanted to. I think it works just fine the way it is. She's made another bow and attached that, as you can tell. But it's really kind of a fun, surprising easel, an inside easel, if you will. So surprising, I forgot about it. Okay. Very, very nice. And it's really kind of fun that it's got that brown holographic. I wouldn't have thought of doing that. So good job, Heidi. Okay, we have one more card. And this also has an interesting process to it. So let me bring this out for you. Now this card is a zigzag card. You can see it's going to go like that. Okay, so it's more than one card. It has a little appendage attached to it. And let me show you how to do that. Since fortunately I remembered to do it. Okay, we're going to take our card and you're going to use two cards. So one card, you're going to take the front flap and you're going to measure down 1.5 inches and mark it straight across and remove that piece, okay? Then you're going to open up the second card and then the score line is in the middle and you'll just measure 1/2 inch across and then cut that. Okay, so this goes away. Then measure down 1.5 inches. Sound familiar? From that point, go down to the lower left-hand corner and cut that away. And you will end up with a piece that looks like this. So it's got that flap. You're going to put extra sticky tape along that score line. And then this is going to attach to the back of the card front. And this is going to make your zigzag, just like that. It's pretty easy, but it's going to make a really nice look. Okay, so we'll go back to our card. And again, this is, let me just lay it out for you. So what's nice about this is that when you have a triangle in the artwork, this is a perfect place to use it. Can you see? So that's what Heidi's done. She does cut this smaller than the card. You could do that. I like the fact that she's got a white border because it duplicates the white in the artwork, and that's always a nice thing to do. Okay, so that's what she's done right there. Something to remember on a card like this is you do want to cover the back side as well as this middle point. So she simply used this area to cover that middle area, and she just went over and used this part to cover the back side, so nothing goes to waste, which is exactly what you would expect, isn't it? Now, let's go here. Can you see how the glitter is there? Now, you know with the glitter, that clear glitter acetate, you've got glitter on one side and you've got sticky on the other. So how do you get it not sticky on both sides? Well, the trick is acetate. So what Heidi has done is she has taken the clear glitter. So here's the sheet. So she's taken the sheet itself to begin with, and she has taken this topper and attached it with extra sticky tape to the front of the clear glitter, okay? Then to the back of the clear glitter, she placed this on acetate. Obviously not this piece, but you get the idea, on acetate. So that way she has two smooth surfaces. And that way she has a piece that she can hold and attach to the front of her card. And I love the idea that this pokes up and really makes a strong focal on the front of her card. She did foam tape that centerpiece right there, and she foam taped these two toppers in place. The bow is out of the light ribbon, of course made with the bow maker, because that's how the woman operates. She did use the jewel dazzles. These are pink and purple, and that worked very nicely. But I do love the glitter. You know, it just really calls for it with fairies, don't you think? Now, these parts come from that second sheet that is the printed sheet. And here is what it looks like. So you can see those bunnies are right here. And then the whole scene is right here. So she didn't use the blue area, but she did trim this to fit. So the larger area, or the larger bunnies, are right here. And then the taller area is right here. Again, making them a bit smaller than the card itself. Now, she did the same thing with this piece. And in fact, let me pull the topper sheet out so you can see it. So here is that center frame that we didn't use. She simply turned it on its side, which is always a clever thing to do, but we sometimes forget about it. So she did put the glitter sheet on it. So she attached this with extra sticky tape to the clear glitter sheet, and then simply placed it onto her card. And then she took this one and placed her vertically. And you can see all of the elements that are used for someone special. It's a beautiful day to follow your dreams. And then I didn't talk about it, but here, these are pieces of the border that she simply has trimmed, kind of like flags or banners. Happy Birthday is right here with a bit of the ribbon from the light ribbon set. And that finishes this very sweet card. Very, very nice. Something for someone very special. So I hope you can see that there's a lot going on in our Hunkydory fairy set. So there are, as I said, 4 pieces in that set, as well as the little book of Moonlight Fairies. And everything is available now. And there is a money saver. It's on the right side of your screen, because that's where we always keep it. Heidi has written instructions. They are down below. Just look at the card, click on it, and you'll see the instructions on the right side of your screen also. If you're watching this on YouTube, we hope you'll like us, we hope you'll comment, and we hope that you will subscribe. Then head on over to Paper Wishes, take advantage of that money saver, and we hope that you will join us many times. We have over 20 webisodes every single month, and we would love to have you with us. Thank you, Heidi, for an excellent job and for sharing your creativity with us. And we do love having you as part of our Paper Wishes family. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.